Good morning. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a podcast brought to you by Joy's House. We are so happy that you're here. Caregiver Crossing is a podcast created just for you, the caregiver, and I am Tina McIntosh.
I am Terry Lynn Stacy, and we're here every week. How about that? Are you loving that? We're here every week. We've got experts that are from all across the globe, and we bring them in to provide you comfort and resources and joy to our caregivers. And this podcast serves to really give you a big hug, family caregivers of today and also caregivers of tomorrow. And as Tina said, we really appreciate you being here. Tina, let's do it.
Well, today we have the great fortune of talking with the wonderful Patrick Broccolo.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Patrick. Patrick is with Senior One Care. Since 2006, Senior One Care has delivered exceptional quality care to those who desire to live independently, whether it's in their home or senior living community. But it's an incredible resource for caregivers and their aging loved ones.
Yeah, it is. Patrick's a Butler grad, co-owner of the local family-owned and operated agency, and we're very fortunate to have his expertise in studio with us today. And first of all, tell us about Senior One Care, Patrick, and the services that you provide, and what do you want people to know most about the work that you do?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me. This is so neat to be able to do this during our unique times these days. But yeah, so Senior One Care, we provide home care services. So we hire caregivers to help seniors or those with disabilities wherever they call home with everyday tasks of daily living. So the services include homemaker, companion type services, lots of personal care, but we also help with finding resources for families that allows them to remain independent. So in a nutshell, that's a little bit about who we are and what we do. But the backstory of our company is it really started with my wife's grandmother, who was living by herself on a farm, and we just had a tough time finding resources and reliable people to help her, and really motivated us to find a better way. So we did. We started our own company, and it's about 14 years old, and been up and running ever since. So having a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think those are sometimes the best companies, that come from the heart and help to fill a need in the community. So hats off to you, my friend, for that. I know that part of what you do is helping people to become more independent rather than dependent, which is a really interesting perspective on the work that you do. So talk a little bit about that and the quality of life that you all help to bring to your clients.
Yeah, I think that honestly, with everything going on today, we're experiencing a little bit of how our older generation is living these days, feeling dependent or isolated a little bit, and what's interesting is every day, all of us leave the house with a set of keys to drive our car, our wallet or purse to pay for things, and even a cell phone to connect us to other people. And, a lot of our older generation, they don't know how to use those things anymore, or they're not able to. So that dependence can be a real burden on us individually. So, by hiring folks to come in and help you with those things, you actually become more independent. I've had a client back in the day who she had Alzheimer's, and she was early in her age, 50s. And we were able to drive her to the store to purchase a wedding anniversary gift for her husband. And, it was a small thing. It brought her a lot of joy. But she was independent to do that. Even though she had to ask for help, we were able to do those types of things. But it just really improved the quality of life, and that's what this is all about.
Patrick, you tell that, and I can relate. We did that at Joy's House and we've done it with, many folks too, like you have. But one in particular, he wanted to celebrate his wife, their anniversary too. Boy, we just said, be as bossy as you want. Your wife's given us how many ever hundreds of dollars limit. And from there, we will be your your hands and your legs and, anything you need. And it was one of the most beautiful things I've done, is to host and pretty much cater and serve that meal to them, because he did that. We just got to be along for the ride. So I love that that's part of what you do is your service. I think that's really, really important for people to understand it. It is the things like the housekeeping and the food and, bathing and medications and all that. But man, it just goes so much more to the heart than that.
Well, it's just small little things that we take for granted every day. And, by helping someone do that, you actually get to do more things, and it's really, really a fun thing to do.
I just want to mention, this is Patrick Broccolo, by the way, and he is with Senior One Care. And Patrick, I have a neighbor, 85 years old, mostly blind, and her husband died in April, just as the pandemic had begun here. And so she's alone, and she's in the home, and we're doing our best to keep her independent. And she's great. She's great. But things like grocery shopping for her and doing those sort of things. So her family is spread among the country, and they all have ideas on what to do with mom. She wants to stay independent. She's doing it pretty well. Can you give us some of your best tips to be for caregivers to be able to keep mom or dad or their loved ones still living independently or with them?
Sure. Yeah. Great question. Just a couple of things that I've found to be helpful, and these are in any order, okay? But one of the areas that I think is really helpful is to talk with their doctor. Typically, there are some symptoms or things that are happening that could be helpful to become a best friend with that doctor, because they have resources, referrals that can help drive some of that. The second one is to kind of try and understand how much care is really needed. But that's a tricky one. But again, talking with the doctors is helpful, and there's multiple doctors that she's probably seen that could give different areas of thought there. Investigate various options that are out there. There are options for folks who want to remain independent in their home, or some folks want to maybe move to a senior living facility and be around even more people. So there's great options there that you can investigate. Being realistic about the amount of care that someone would need. And this was a big one for us. It's one thing to have an idea of what it is being in the house, but it's another when you're outside of the house. So trying to get as much information as you can. And understanding that change can happen overnight. So those are big things to be prepared for. And then the last one I think is probably most important and probably the trickiest is having the loved one being part of that conversation. Look, if it's their idea to get care in, that's great. There's a doctor who tells a story of how a husband didn't want to talk about memory loss in front of his wife. And when the doctor came in to ask her, what do you think's going on? Any changes? She said, well, I think I have some cognitive issues. And simply having them part of the conversation, I think, can lead to very positive steps.
I think we want to get in touch with you. I think that would be awesome to use your services perhaps for this wonderful woman next door to me that maybe could use somebody to help her with the house or just something. And so how do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, the best place to start is our website. I think it's a pretty intuitive area to go, senior1care.com. It's the number one instead of spelling it out. So you go there, there's a bunch of resources, and we've got some videos and stories on there to tell that maybe families can relate to. We also are all over social media. Facebook is probably our heaviest usage right now. So we'll put out tips and things of that nature that are out there that people can follow.
Well, we're grateful for you. So you are hearing again the voice of Patrick Broccolo, and you heard his website. Get in touch with him at Senior One Care. Patrick, my friend, thank you so much for being with us and for what you're doing.
Anytime, Tina. We appreciate what you guys are doing too out there in the community. So love being a partner with you guys.
All right, everybody else, we'll be back next week here on Caregiver Crossing, the podcast. And until then, we ask that you take really good care of each other.